You're listening to Ernestly Speaking, the only weekly podcast that covers friends, foes, and anything that goes. And now, for your badass host, Ernest Owens. And we're back with a special edition episode of Ernestly Speaking with your host, Ernest Owens, myself. Happy New Year. Happy 5th anniversary. Happy 2026. Happy January 6th. 5 years ago, around this time, which is the 5th anniversary of January 6th, somebody was telling people to stand back and stand by. And we didn't know that that was going to be, for Ernestly Speaking, and something else that happened, and the whole insurrection and all that. But here we are 5 years later, and I am super excited. The wait is over. It's here. I am proud to announce what I've been hiding for like nearly the last, past 9th season. We're coming into season 10 with the announcement I've been holding on for such a long time. And now I am finally ready to share it to you in this moment. I have a second book. It's coming. Yes, I am an author again. Book 2, B2. I've been keeping this for so long, but I am writing my second book. The name of the book, Divided We Stand, is an adult nonfiction book, politics, current affairs. I am proud to announce it. It's going to be published by Beacon Press, which we're going to talk more about Beacon Press in a minute. But the name of the book is called Divided We Stand, How Stand Culture Evolved into Socio-Political Chaos. Yes, we're here. This is the book I've been wanting to write for quite a long time. Shout out to my bestie, one of my many besties, my little brother Jamarcus, because I had always talked about stan culture. Stan culture has been something that has been ingrained in my life for years. And I've always told myself that I wanted to write a book about stan culture. Dr. Parks, she's also someone who knows this. This has been a thing that has been in my life for my entire adulthood. Jamarcus and I used to have stan wars all the time. And I'm saying the word stan, not stand, stan. This is something that has been with me for a long time. I've always been fascinated about it. I've always talked about how I'll be able to write about stan culture. And this just made so much sense. This book, again, it's a nonfiction book, okay? It's not fictional, it's not imaginary, it is facts, but it's going to detail the origins and the impact of stan culture, which is a social media phenomenon that is driven by obsessive fans in the 2010s, and how it transcended into the polarizing political device it is now, with politicians and ambitious candidates embracing their own stan groups and exploring the harms caused by said stands and how society morphed into battling teams. Yes, shout out to my agent, Carly Waters at PS Literary Agency, which I've stayed with them. My last book was done by that agency. That is my literary agent, PS Literary Agency. My agent for this book, I have a new book agent, Carly Waters. She has been tremendous in helping me get to B2. This journey has been 2 years in the making, and I've been quiet. I haven't said much about it. I've been hinting at it. I've been dry hinting. I've been doing all the things, but the wait is over. I've been working on this idea. This has been a journey, as many of you all know. A lot of you all was asking me, was I going to write a second book? What's next? And honestly, The Case for Cancel Culture has been, my first book, my debut book, has been a journey. It's been awesome. It's been everything. And it was just a matter of figuring out when is that moment was going to hit, because I've really been in love with that, you know. February marks the 3-year anniversary of the Case for Council Culture's debut. It came out in late February. You all remember me when I started the podcast 5 years ago. I was beginning to talk about my interest in that book, and I think we had a book deal. I think by then, a book agent. No, I didn't have a book deal then. I had the book deal in 2021 is when I got the book deal, but I didn't have it when I launched Ernestly Speaking. So this is like a full circle moment. 5 years ago, I announced the book deal of the Case for Council Culture in May of 2021. And here I am 5 years later, and here we are announcing book 2. So this is exciting. This is so exciting. A lot of you all have been asking me about when I was going to announce this, when, was there going to be a second book? And I've kind of talked a little bit about it, hinted at it. When I released my debut book with St. Martin's Press in 2023, it was a moment. It was. I mean, the Case for Council Culture was a countercultural read. It was the first major case for council culture as a fundamental means of democratic expression throughout history. It was timely, still timely. Still people were talking about it, It was a timely necessity. It was aimed at combating systems of oppression. That 16-city book tour across America that I did after it, 25 stops, 16 different cities. I mean, we had viral interviews. I went on Dr. Phil, of course, Piers Morgan. The Washington Post covered it. Time, we had an excerpt in Rolling Stone. I even got a chance to do last year a prestigious Oxford Union debate. We was in England with it. And now we're getting into political stand culture. This is the book I truly believe I was meant to write. No one has given this a full literary, exploration. No one's given it this, right? There's been little articles, there's been little conversations and things, but this is the book. This is my response. This is the book, y'all. This is what I've been waiting for. I have been thinking about this topic forever. Did not know how I can take my upbringing because I was deep in it, right? We're talking the Little Monsters. We're talking Beehive. We're talking Swifties. We're talking Britney Army. We're talking Rihanna Navy. We're talking how those systems, and it's a bigger conversation. A bigger conversation. I mean, I cannot tell you how many years Jamarcus and I, myself and Dr. Parks, we have been having these individual duels about stands. I mean, the Barbs, this has been something that has been in my DNA for so many years. And I have seen it in recent years evolve into politics, right? We got Trumpers, we got K-Hive, we got Bernie Bros, we got all of these different institutions. And this has been something that has been only talked about in music and a little bit in pop culture. People have moved into the conversation in politics, but not have fully done a deep dive. This is so millennial. This is so me. This is so queer coded. This is so millennial coded. This is the book that I was meant to write. I've thought about it. I've meditated on this topic for so many years. And it just was just there. This is an Ernest Owens book. Okay. This is the book. This is what it was. This is you all don't understand. People kept saying, oh, are you going to write you should write a sequel to the Case of Council Culture. Maybe you should write this and this. I'm like, I know what I am meant to write. I just was like, I am going to know. It's going to hit me. It's going to connect. Let me rock. And I'm so happy I did. I'm so happy I took the time to fall in love with my first baby book. Because the moment you write your first book, everyone wants you to do another one. It's like I don't have kids, but it's like having a child. Like the moment you have one, everyone's like, okay, when you got the next one? It's like, hold on. Let me enjoy this moment. And I felt this way about the case of cancel culture. I just wanted to just, the first book, the journey to writing it, the journey to, I had to get an agent. I had to do all the things. This journey was not that chaotic, and I'm grateful for it. Nothing is like the first, right? Like getting into college, like getting into the University of Pennsylvania was like a nail bite. Like getting into college, like that first experience. Like getting into my master's program, it was not a struggle. But you know what? It took time to marinate. Like it took me, I think when I graduated in 2014, I got into USC Annenberg's program in 2019. 5 years. That's the pattern. Have y'all noticed that things have a pattern? And like for me, it was a 5-year journey. Like I was 29 years old, getting into my 30s when I got my first book deal. Now I am 34, entering 35, getting into now what is my second book deal experience, my book writing experience. Like it's just something you got to grow with the process. And I think you should always trust the process in life. Like I didn't know I was going to get meta with this, but it meant something. And so I think about how in different stages of my life, I needed that time. And so council culture was so a part of my life. Like it was connected to what was going on with Justin Timberlake and I. Like the fact that I can't even say that is crazy. Like going through that journey. But when I finished writing The Case for Council Culture, I started to deal with, and you all remember this journey because it's honestly a part of it, right? I went through this journey of dealing with the K-Hive when everything was going on with Fetterman, when Fetterman was running for the Senate race. And I remember dealing with some doxing. I remember dealing with some trolls. And I thought at the time, like, oh, this is connected to council culture. And even when I was going on my tour, my book tour for the first book, I remember, I got to take a moment real quick because it's just like the fact that I can even just say like, oh, I went on a book tour and this and this. Like these are dreams I've had for years. And it's just, it's so blessed. But when I was on the tour, I just remember people consistently, asking these questions about cancel culture. And it was coming up about like how to deal with online trolls and these cults. And I was like, yeah, cults cancel, but people are getting together. And, I didn't necessarily have a term for it at the time. I couldn't put it together, but I was like, oh, these are cults like Trumpers and these mega people, like the cults and the chaos. These are like these groups. And I remember someone in the conversation being like, yeah, but there's something else here. You don't think the phenomenon? I say, oh, well, these are trolls and doxers. This does not count as canceling, which I was right about. Like they were trolls. They were doing online cyberbullying. But they said, well, what is that then? Like, what is that? Because there is that behavior going on, and it's more than just trolling. What do we say for these people? And I didn't really have an answer because I was really focused on making the distinction and defending council culture as being something more than that, which I was correct about, but that still did not answer that phenomenon. And so that was something that I'm not going to say kept me up at night, but it was something that I was wrestling with for several years. While I was on a book tour, while I was just having these conversations, while I was traveling, because I saw people making this conflation between these groups. And there was a part of me that did not feel like it was intellectually fair or honest to simply write these people off simply as trolls. They are trolls, but they were doing more than trolling. There was something else here. And so I went back to my origins. I went back to thinking about the conversations I've had with Jamarcus for years. Like we always had these conversations about Stan Wars, like the Swifties. And of course, he was part of the Beehive. I was part of the Rihanna Navy. And K-Hive, that term stood out to me. I was like dealing with them when they started to attack me because I was critical about aspects of Kamala Harris. This is before she ran this is before 2024. But I remember the K-Hive really came after me when I was critical about some of the things that was going on with the Harris administration or her vice presidency, but even before that. And it was eminent of the Beehive. Like if you or the Barbs. Like I remember the Barbs came after me when I was critical about them. And even, what was his name? Harry Styles, the stylists came after me when they thought that I had, jeered him at the Grammys. Like, but I remember this culture and I was thinking to myself, these are stands. Like, these are stands. They're standing, but like, can you stand for a politician? Like, it begs the question to me, like, are these just not political supporters? Like what makes them unique? And that began a rabbit hole of me really trying to understand, did stand culture get into politics? Like, what's going on? And then there became articles, like people picked up on it a little bit, calling it political stand culture. So there began to be these little small conversations, but I felt like they were surface level. Like, I felt like they weren't hitting it the way that, like, I don't know, they trivialized them as just being these super fans. It's like, no, 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 no. I know what stand culture is because I was in it. I'm a grown ass man now, so I'm not in it anymore. But Jamarcus was a stand. We were in these stand wars. We were having these moments in our teens. Like, we were like 18, 19. We was having these arguments about the charts. Like, this stuff is inflated now. Like, there's a lot to be said about, like, stand culture is just not the same anymore. It's kind of been washed out. Like, both Jamarcus, like, the kids are not doing it like we did. Like, the Gen Zers, baby, the early 2010s, there was fights. You felt some type of way. Dr. Parks, before she was Dr. Parks, Amanda knows, like, we would argue. I felt some type of way. It was a moment, okay? It was personal. It felt political. And so now to see it evolve, like, into politics has been fascinating. And I was like, who's the fuck writing that book? I am. I said, I got to write this. No one's going to write about this. No one's going to understand it in the way that it needs to. And that's not because it's not being, the conversation being had, but the people in the literary community, no shade, right? But a lot of these people are not glued, like, either they're deeply in politics or a lot of other folks are deeply into pop culture. I have always, through my career, been able to marry the lines between politics and pop culture. Like, this is in my DNA. Like, I've never been someone who was just hyper obsessed in celebrity and red carpet and only wanted to go into pop culture commentary. I've always been interested in the socio-political aspects of it because I found that to be the most fascinating. And that's literally combining two of my passions. Like, that's why Case for Cancel Culture worked, because I was able to understand how cancel culture emerged into the politic. If you are only looking at these things and having a critical lens about them only in a very like binary mindset, you miss the larger implications. Like, you miss them. And I think that is my talent. Like, when you think about, like, Pixar, right? Pixar, when they were like, I mean, Pixar has kind of fallen into a different trap now, but the early Pixar films, what made them great was that they were either doing things with inanimate objects or they knew how to expand the worlds of things that were what we would consider insignificant, like A Bug's Life. Like, whoever thought, well, DreamWorks will say ants, but anywho, whoever thought about really exploring the world of bugs in that way? Or toys. Like, toys have a universe. Like, monsters have a company to scare people at night, kids. Like, Pixar was genius at reimagining these worlds that we just did not think about in the ways in which they did. It was genius. It was what made Pixar one of the best animated companies of ever. And I mean, of course, there's the Disney Pixar relationship, but that's what made Pixar unique. And so I think everybody has a particular, like, genre as a director. And I think as an author, I think I know what my lens is: to look into pop cultural phenomenons with a socio-political lens. That's what I do. And I'm not saying I'm the only one who do that, but I think with the millennial Black queer vantage point, no one's doing it like that. Not in the book, not like how I do it. Like, everyone wants to do mirror, and I'm not throwing shade, no shade, no shade, but there is something fascinating about that. Like, I know people do it through, like, a particular, like, racial lens or feminist lens or things. And that's there. And that's interesting and fascinating work. But there's something to be said about that political, like to get hyper political into it and to do the intersection of that. That's my sweet spot. That's what gets me excited. And so I am so excited about this book. Like I just I'm ready. I'm ready. I've written some chapters. I'm in the process. I'm writing. I know the chapters. I got my outlines. I've done some research. Like I've been reading, like I got like over 150 like books and movies and documentaries I've been consuming. I've been deep in this shit for like 2 years and I've not told you all. Okay. In the midst of everything else I've been doing. In the midst of everything else I've been doing, y'all. The origins of me starting on this process started in early 2024. 2023 was all about the case of cancel culture. I refused. My agent, I switched agents, but I'm in the same agency. My other agent, Stephanie Winter, who I love to pieces, she went to a new agency, and I did not transfer because I love PS Literary Agency. They're great. I have an incredible boss of an agent now. She's great. Carly is incredible. And we've been working together for over a year when she came on board. And once I made that transition, we began to start thinking about this book. I did not want to write any other book. I was very serious this time around that this is the book I want to write. I did not have, like with the first book, you all know my journey to getting to the case for cancel culture. Like there were several other ideas, there were several other topics, and eventually case for cancel culture just stuck as a combination between all the other things I was passionate about. This topic, this book, this title, I knew this title was the title I had the moment I knew I wanted to write this book. Divided We Stand was what I was going with. That was my idea, my title. I was like, I don't want to change it. It is the title. Now, the follow-up, How Stand Culture Evolved into Social Political Chaos, that evolved through time because this topic has evolved, my thinking about it, but I knew that the topic would be called Divided We Stand. Like, I love a title. That is one thing as a journalist, I love a good title because that's how you get people. The title was always Divided We Stand. The case for cancel culture was that title too. Like I wanted that title from the jump. Of course, the subtitle, How This Democratic Tool Works to Liberate Us All, that was something that came in later. But the lead title is so important. And I love Divided We Stand because that is so easy to make a hashtag. I guess we don't even do hashtags anymore. But, Divided We Stand is just dope. Like, it's just so dope because it's a riff off of United We Stand or Divided We Stand. But just the riff off of the stand, like, oh my God, like, mwah, mwah. It is what it is. I'm hype, y'all. I'm excited. I've been holding this in. I feel free to share all this. But the concept is, I did the research. I was reading. I've been watching documentaries for the past 2 years. I've been reading a lot of books. I've been following shit. And this journey, right, was in. So I want to say early 2024 was initially the first time I was like, with my agent was like, look, we got to start. I want to start doing it. But then things changed. The election of 2024 changed the entire dynamic. When Kamala jumped in, I said, we got to hold it. Like everything was like, we cannot pick. Like, I need to work on this. I need to see this election. And I'm going to tell y'all something that I haven't really told anyone except my agent. I said privately in my heart, because I had already studied stand culture and I already studied the dynamics and the politics of this. I said the moment Kamala got in that race, I said, based on my science, my research, she's going to lose. And it was like, nothing was like, what do you mean? I said, I think she's going to lose. Like, based on, if this is because of the K-Hive, I said the stand wars, and I don't want to get too much into what this book is going to lay out, because it's fun. It's a fun ass book, y'all. Y'all are not ready for this book. Um, y'all not ready for this book, but in my mind, I was like, based on my science, understanding stand culture and understanding the wars, because I've studied this in a pop cultural lens with album sales and things. I said something. This isn't working. Something. This is off. Trump's gonna win because if it's a stand war, she's gonna lose. And they're like, well, I mean, there's other. I was like, yeah, but there's other factors that drive up momentum. She doesn't have it. Something's off, and I don't think she's going to build it. And I just knew in my soul that she was going to lose. And privately, there was conversations of like, well, if you think she's going to lose, I said, listen, I think she's going to lose. If she wins, there's no book. There's no book. And I had a reason for why. I don't want to say all this. We got to roll. Well, listen, this is the rollout, baby. We're going to have to say some things. But in my mind, I was like, if she wins, there's no book. There's no book. I have to wait. I had to wait to see it play out. So early 2024, I had an idea for this book. I had an idea about that we're going to talk about stand culture. I wanted to go the political route. I had theories about it. But when she got in the race, everything changed. Everything changed in a very different way. The book went into a hyper political focus, which is what I always wanted, but we didn't have an angle. But once she lost, I was like, I know why. And this is my way of understanding what went wrong with 2024, but also where our country's going, how the fascism is going to be a topic. There's no way you could talk about stand culture, cancel culture, and all these things without talking about fascism. We're going to talk about fascism. We're going to talk about this because there is a connection here. I'm not ready to talk about it all right now because then what the hell y'all going to read and what the hell we going to go? We're going to go on this journey together. And now I'm going to be able to talk about it and talk because I've been hinting at it. Y'all know I've been dry hinting. Now some of y'all are going to go, oh. Like even the fact that I am dropping this announcement on January 6th, the 5th anniversary, is because that's stand culture. That's what stands do. When at the last time we seen stands do shit like that? I don't know. The Beatles, concerts. We've seen look what happened with. We've seen stands. This is what stands do. Stands break shit, tear shit up, go crazy for their fave. Trump is not just an elected official to them. He's their fave. There is a correlation between fascism and stand culture. There is. And when you put it with political stand culture is fascism by another name. There's connections. I don't want to say everything, but y'all see, y'all picking up what I'm putting down. This book is long overdue. And we're going to go all into it. I am going to name names. I am looking forward to, we got receipts. This book is going to be the book. Okay? And the goal is, because some of y'all might be anxious when it's going to come out, I would like it to come out in 2027. There's a chance that, that's if we on schedule, the goal is 2027. Right before this upcoming 2028 election. This book, I want it to be a part of the conversation. I want us to look inward. I want us to talk about the next political future, because what we witness right now, if we don't understand what's happening, we will not be able to know what's next. This book is beyond timely. It is going to spell out the future. It is going to talk about how we got here and how we can get out. This is an opportunity. We are going to talk about solutions. There is going to be talks about best practice. It's so, I cannot wait. Okay. I've been enjoying my writing journey. I've enjoyed this process. I'm excited about what's coming. But so many things are going to be explored. So many things are going to be talked about. This topic has legs like legs. I'm excited about the publisher. Super excited about it. Beacon Press is an incredible imprint, okay? They have been around for a long time. They're legendary. This book is going to be published alongside some incredible books that have changed my life. They were founded. They are a left-wing nonprofit book publisher. They were founded in 1854 by the American Unitarian Association. They've published authors like James Baldwin, like Howard Zinn, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They published the Pentagon Papers. Okay? We're talking about legends here. For my book to be a part of that history of authors. I mean, they published Race Matters by Dr. Cornel West, who is my frat brother. Race Matters changed my life. They published a book, White Fragility and Nice Racism by Robin DiAngelo. For those who remember that book, they published that. They published a book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community by Dr. King. Like, these are legendary books. Like, they publish books that changed the game. Notes of a Native Son by James Baldwin was published by Beacon Press. Like, this is no joke. They are legendary. They're legendary. This is a game changer. My book will be a part of a canon at an imprint, like a publisher that has had these authors. It is an honor. It is a deep honor. And this is just alignment with this topic, this book. The alignment with this publisher is just so important to me. Yeah, everything about this rollout, everything about this book, everything about the publisher, everything about the authors that have been there. This was about alignment. This was about just knowing that this team and the types of people that they align themselves with, their ethics, their views. And I love St. Martin's Press. Like, there's no shade to St. Martin's at all. Like, they were a great publisher. The Case for Council Culture to be published there did wonders. But this particular book, at this particular time, with this publisher, this just spoke to me in so many different ways. And so I'm so excited that this book is being there. This was a great, I had a great book deal, all the things. I feel good. I feel great. And that was important. And the fact that I even have the privilege to be able to, as an author at my career level, to be able to write a second book at a time where book deals are not being given to Black queer authors and young authors like myself. Not for types of books like of this subject matter. I don't take any of this for granted. This has been a journey, and I'm so grateful for it. And so, yeah, I'm super excited. I am. But here's the thing. Here's the ask for you. Okay? Now the work continues. I won't say begin because I've already been working on some things. But now the work truly begins publicly. I am calling for all stands, fanatics, experts, and scholars. I am looking to hear from you for my upcoming book, Divided We Stand. So, please consider an interview if you're a super fan or supporter who belongs to a political base, MAGA, I'm not judging, K-Hive, Bernie Bros, the Squad, or a pop culture base. Beehive, Swifties, Barbs, Monsters. Listen, hell, even Katy Cats. If you belong to any of those groups, or if you're an expert or a scholar on online fandom, pop culture, or political party/bases, I want to talk to you. Yes, we are going to be interviewing stans, experts, and people connected to this. Like my last book, the case for cancel culture, I do open calls for experts from all over the world. Okay, we had some incredible scholars and authors and thought leaders that was a part of my first book. We are now opening it up for you all. You all have until Sunday, February 1st to apply, okay? By Sunday, February 1st, okay? That is the night of the Grammys. When I get back from the Grammys, yes, I'm going to the Grammys again. When I get back, I am going to check my Google Docs to see all the applications. And if you want to be interviewed, if you want to be quoted, if you want to be a part of this major book, and as you can see, clearly the book goes on tour. Clearly you're going to get some visibility. If you want to be a part of this book, if you want to be interviewed, if you want to get a quote, if you want to be on the sleeve of the book, you want to be a part of this experience. Because you know I'm going on tour. Y'all know what we do. If you want to be a part of this and you have something to say, but you know, we got to have experts and stuff. Or if you know somebody who is in this field, we want you. We don't care your background. If you a Republican, you a Democrat, you a progressive, you a Democratic Socialist. If you come from various backgrounds, we want you. We want to hear from you. If you work the political campaigns, if you know people who might be good for this, please share the form. Okay, you can apply now. Okay, at the link in the bio of my IG, my Threads, or X, which is Twitter. So if you know people, they can follow my page on X, or they can follow me on Instagram, or they can get the link in the bio. The link is in the bio on all of those pages. You can go there, and it will be there for you. So we're not holding back. All of our resources and information will be there. Please take advantage. We want to hear from you. We believe in you. We want to keep the conversation going. My website will have the link available on my website as well, ernestly.com. The announcement is already up there live. So this is going to be widespread. Everybody will know about it. Everybody will get the information. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to select people for interviews. You all will know the first week of February if you've been selected. Please, serious inquiries only. So if you're just somebody who just an admirer from afar, you know, maybe not ready for the book, okay? But if you are somebody who literally is a super fan, a super stan, okay, not a supporter, I need stans, meaning you got to be somebody that, have you had an article written about your standum? Do you run an online community? Have you doxed people? Like, listen, we want to hear from stans. We want to hear from experts and people who's been in the space, even political groups. Like, are you a part of the K-Hive? Were you a former Bernie bro? Like, we want to know. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear your experiences, your thoughts about it. You will be included. Your voice will be included, okay? So if you want to participate in this experience, this is how I conduct my interviews. There will be interviews. We're going to let people know the first week of February because we want to make sure we get everybody involved. Fill out the application. It's a very simple application. We just want to get some background information. We want to know if you're somebody who qualifies. But fill out the application. You have until February 1st. We got to get this on the road because I'm already writing chapters. We got to we want to get some feedback. Your input will shape the way that the book will be written. We want to hear from you. I cannot write this book by myself. I mean, I'm writing the book by myself, but I need input beyond just the books and the documentaries I've watched, the interviews I've heard, the podcast episodes I've listened to. I want to do interviews like I did for my last book. It will make a difference. And this is our story. Like, this is for you, we the people. So I definitely am opening it up. Some people, some authors, no shade to them, will often pick only people they like or they know. I don't personally, that's not my process. Like, I know some experts, I know some people that I'm going to reach out to, but I do want to open it up to the community because I think when these books come out, people always go, oh, I know something about this. Why no one hit me up? We're not doing that. I got 18,000 followers on Instagram. I got over 35,000 followers on X. I got several thousands of followers on Threads. Like, make this spread, y'all. Spread the word. Even if you may not be the one, you might know somebody in your circle that's obsessed, that has a problem, that fight people over their faves, that go to jail behind it, that are out here doing the most. Or you in politics, you might know some mega supporters that was at January 6th. Listen, if they've been exonerated, bring your ass on the show. come on and get an interview by me. Like, I would love to interview you for this book. So please spread the word. None of the sources can be anonymous. Everybody has to go on their name. This is a book. Like I said, we name names or we leave it on the playground. If you're not gonna be named in the book, we can't do much with it because we got to have real legit sources. But this is gonna be fun. I'm excited about this. The forum is available. Make sure that you check the link in my bio. You got till February 1st, so that's less than a month. Okay. But we got to get the ball rolling. So as many experts as possible, we're going to spread the word. There's going to be a lot of social media campaign around this. You're going to see the flyer. You're going to see stuff going around social media. We want everybody to get an opportunity to get their voices heard. With the Case of Cancel Culture, that was my first book. As y'all know, I was surprised by how many people poured out and applied to be heard for that book. But this is going to be even bigger. So we are excited. This is going to be fun. I will tell you that as a second-time author in the making, that this journey of brainstorming, mind mapping, creating outlines, it's just been a different feel. This just feels, and this is how it's supposed to feel. I felt like when I was in my master's program, I was a way better student than I was in undergrad because I knew how to do research. I knew how to write, really, really write really, really well. I knew how to just have critical thinking skills. I just really enjoyed the process. I actually loved taking the class I was taking in my master's program. I really loved the courses. And I feel like this is how I feel about this, writing this book. The first time you do it, it's fun, but it's chaotic because you just don't know, how to go about it. This is just learning from all the lessons from my last book experience. This is just so different. I've already created a bibliography for all my sources. Cause I remember for the first book, I had to go back and find all my sources and footnote. Oh, we're doing that now. I'm not going, I'm already that's a whole nother topic for another day. But the book writing process, when you write your books, okay? Cause some people, I got ghostwriters, no shade. But when you actually write your book and you're actually the one doing your research and doing your shit, it is a journey. But I love doing it. And, this is what it is. So we're going to have fun. This is going to be a very exciting time. I want everybody to come out and engage. I want everybody to shoot their shot. I want to hear from people. I want people to talk about their stand-up. I want people to talk about this topic. I want to hear from different voices. I want to get different perspectives. And so, yeah, we're in for a treat. Y'all are in for a treat. 2027 can't get here any sooner. This is the book. This is the book that I was born to write. This is the book that is speaking to the moment in ways that cancel culture is still speaking to the moment. But this book is taking it up a notch. We're ready. It's time. So, yeah, I gave y'all, a special edition episode. I was a little hesitant because, season 10 premiere is next week. And look what I'm doing. I'm already, here, but it's a new year. It's a new time. We'll talk about people taking over regimes, in the season 10 premiere. We'll talk about Villain Squad. We'll talk about all that later. But I wanted to just give my full, undivided, undisrupted attention to my second book. Okay? I'm excited. Divided We Stand. How Stan culture evolved into socio-political chaos. We're ready for it. We're in a new era. The new era is finally here. As always, be well and be best. Ernestly Speaking is recorded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. To stay up to date with the latest on the show, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Mr. Ernest Owens. Use the hashtag Ernestly Speaking to tell me what you thought about this episode, and check out my website at ernestowens.com.